Tires. We think of tires as being black, they're really not. If you go outside in the parking lot, just look at the cars that are, you know, occasionally washed and the tires are Armor All, they're still not really black. So first thing I go with is like a dark gray, a Panzer gray type color for a tire, whether it's a aircraft or a military vehicle. Now I'm assuming car guys like Dave, they're going to paint their tire black. It's going to be a glossy black tire because it's a different genre. But for the military modeler, I would go with a gray, and then I just hit it with a dry brush of a lighter color gray to break up the monotone appearance. After that, I got to thinking as well, even if it's a faded out tire, it's probably going to be dirty. There's going to be, it's going to be off-road. It's going to have mud accumulate on it, different levels of that. So I was looking online and found a method using baking soda. So this is a real quick, down and dirty, easy, cheap method. Water's free. Baking soda is probably laying around in your kitchen. Steal it from the wife. So anyway, you do a mix. You don't have to add too much water, and it's kind of a paste consistency. At that point, you can add whatever color you want. This is just a flat earth from Tallieri. And a little of this goes a long way. So now you've got your goo. And it's kind of messy, but I just use my finger and start smearing this junk on. And the main thing to me is getting it in the treads. You see a four-wheel drive pickup truck that's been out in the boonies. That's what you see. The mud's in the treads, and then you can smear it all over the whole tire and the wheel. And obviously you just let this dry. It dries pretty quickly. I didn't time it when I did it the other day, but just smear it on, walk away, come back, and it'll look like this, which isn't really how you want it to end up. But this stuff is, the adhesion on it is not too much. It's easy to get off. Just a little, just the friction from your hand, your fingers will get this excess off. And if you get in a bind and you want to start over, or you need a heavier hammer to get this stuff off with, just add a drop of water, because it is water soluble. It'll totally come off. You can start over from scratch if you need to. But anyway, you just rub. It takes a little while, especially on the wheel here. I won't go all the way on the wheel, but you can see the effect that you're getting on the tire itself. I mean, that looks like a vehicle that's been off-road and hasn't been cleaned since it left the factory.
Could you do the same thing with that?
I would assume, but I've never used that before. So, baking soda was around the house. It's cheap, and I just grabbed it and gave it a shot. And here's the finished result on this striker here. You can see how the tires turned out there. I'm assuming a lot of guys use the pigment to do this, but like I said, this is a much cheaper method, and I don't feel as bad about wasting some baking soda as I would some high-dollar pigment. So, and another use I thought you could possibly adapt this to is like the underside of a armored vehicle, you know, the wheel well area where you're going to have a lot of mud accumulate. I've used the Vallejo. I don't know, what do you call it? We call it peanut butter, but it's the Vallejo
it's like the grit earth stuff or whatever.
You know, I don't think this could replace that. I mean, maybe this kind of reminds me of sand. If you're in a desert environment and you're trying to mimic that kind of weathering, I think you could probably use this for that possibly. But the consistency of the baking soda is it's too consistent. It's the same. It's the same where if you're using the Vallejo product, you can kind of, you know, chop it up and make it look like it has a different consistency than this. So this is probably too perfect for that kind of application. But for, you know, just putting dirt in the tread of a tire, I mean, it's a quick, easy, cheap method. And you know, to me, it looks very effective. So